Okay, so hello again. So I'm going to make another video here. I just on on preparing for phase 3 with the HCG diet. I'm on my first round, at the end of my first round, and I've done and researched quite a bit, and so I just wanted to just communicate what I've been doing to possibly be helpful to somebody who might be starting it, or thinking about, okay, I'm going to be ending phase 2 here, and now what's phase 3 going to look like? So I've been working with a naturopath, and she suggested that I do kind of like an allergy introduction type way moving into phase 3. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. I didn't hear anybody else talk about this online. I've heard people talk about slowly increasing and slowly adding foods, but this is very systematic what I'm doing. In other words, so the first day of phase 3, where the HCG is supposed to be out of my system, is today. And what I'm doing is I'm just eating more of phase 2. I'm just eating more food. I was supposed to have breakfast, and I'm so far not hungry. It's 11 o'clock and I'm not hungry yet, and so I am also going off of the weight loss apocalypse, even though I don't care for the book, the eating to hunger, this idea of, okay, I'm going to be throwing my hormones off perhaps if I eat when I'm not hungry. So I do want to follow my hunger patterns, and I'm prepared to eat when I get hungry, which is a huge thing. I don't want to get caught off guard, which has happened my whole life, where I just kind of ignore, and then I'm so starving to death I can't cook or do anything or think. I'm angry and I want to eat anything. So that's my pattern, really. So what I did is I've got the food ready when I'm hungry, but I haven't been hungry yet. So I was just eating 2 meals on phase 2, and I wouldn't eat until noon. So I don't know, maybe the HCG hasn't worn off yet, or I don't know. I can feel a little something coming on, but that would be like a normal phase 2 day, that I'd be getting hungry around 11-ish, starting to get something, and then at noon I'd eat. So anyway, so today's my first day of phase 3, and that's what I'm doing so she suggested this day I just eat more of what I would usually eat. And I've actually been doing that the last couple days. I hadn't been eating 500 calories. I'd been eating like 300. And so I experimented a couple times with eating some other things, or more of what I normally was eating. And I didn't really like it. So I'm going to slowly increase the amount, and I'm not going to be eating I've been eating 3 ounces of meat, and so I'm probably going to eat 4 ounces of meat, not 6 ounces, which is what I did, and it was too much. So, and I probably can eat as much lettuce as I want, but who wants to do that? Not me. And then the fruit, I'm a little bit afraid of adding more fruit. I'm just not. I know that I'm so carb sensitive. I know that I'm so sugar sensitive that I'm just I don't want to overdo that. So we'll see. I'm going to just eat a little more of everything is what I'm going to do. Like 1 ounce more. That's all. And then tomorrow is when I add in my first food. And so I got to pick whatever food that wasn't a starch or sugar that I wanted to add in. And I eat only that food for that day. And then the next morning I weigh, and if I have gained over 2 pounds, she has said that then I assume that I have an allergic reaction to that food, and I don't eat it for 3 months. And the reason 3 months is because the body can somehow clear an allergen in 3 months. So then I can try it again in 3 months and see if I'm still allergic to it. So that's a broad idea. So I am adding 1 food, and then if I gain less than 2 pounds, but I'm gaining, then I look at my calorie consumption and lower that, because I want to be maintaining my weight or I want to be losing, but mostly well, maintaining or losing, not gaining a pound every day. So, um, yeah, and I don't know, it's probably silly, but I was like, okay, so what is a food? Like, you know, and it wasn't that silly of a question, actually. I mean, I didn't, okay, I said, is beef the same as bison? Well, no. Beef and buffalo are different. Whatever. Make fun of me. So that would be separate. And then eggs, I was on this allergen website, and they said, you may benefit from having one day where you just eat egg whites, and then the second day you can eat the egg yolks. And I was like, well, I'm not going to eat the egg yolks. If I do egg whites and I don't have a sensitivity, then I'm going to do the whole egg the day after and see if I have a sensitivity to that. So eggs, I'm separating that out to see. And each type of nut, different day. And also it was suggested each type of cheese a different day. And like every little thing, like I'm going to be like introducing, for example, cream of tartar on one day, which sounds like a really boring day. And it's further off in my plan because it doesn't sound exciting at all. But cream of tartar is one thing that when you're gluten-free you can use to like puff egg whites up and put in some baked goods and things. And it's a side effect of winemaking. And so it's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of something. And I guess somebody was saying like a sulfite sensitivity you might have something with sulfites, and so cream of tartar you might react. We'll see. Anyway, and so that, and then like apparently baking powder is cream of tartar mixed with baking soda and other things. So that I'm going to be doing baking powder, which sounds boring, but I'm separating that out. And then I'm separating out like agar, which is a type of thickener. If you're a vegetarian, I know that. And then like introducing like the fake sugars. I honestly haven't, so I'm not even thinking about sugars and starches at this point. Unfortunately, I haven't eaten broccoli on phase 2, so I have to have broccoli be an introductory where I just eat broccoli for one day, which I'm really not happy about because I don't care for broccoli at all. I mean, it's all right, but I don't want to, you know. Anyway, so I'm not super excited about this process. Luckily, it's just one day, and then the next, I'm excited about eating the food I like. Like tomorrow I get to eat steak, which I love steak, and so beef is going to be my first one. And then the second day I'm going to start with the eggs, just because they're in everything and they're okay. They're flexible food that I can eat. So I just need to get those out of the way to have those available. And then I'm going to be doing some other. So I wanted to share that, and that's like identification of allergies with somebody who I have never done anything like this before. So I'm like the Midwestern trailer park girl who is now, I don't know, some kind of like hippie from San Francisco who's doing raw food or something. So I'm stepping into a new environment of thinking about food and things, and I personally don't like to be real precious about food, and I think that it's I don't know, it just sort of irritates me when people are real precious about it. And at the same time, I don't want to harm myself with carelessness and neglect either. So so I'm trying to find a middle ground. So I also have kind of really had to plan out. I've been planning the first week to make sure I have everything that I need, and then planning the second week also. So I bought like a I bought this. It's a weekly, monthly planner, and it's twice as big as the one as I usually use, so I can put meal plans in it. And I've just sat down for a couple hours, took me a long time, with my list of things that I want to eat, that I want, you know, the introductory things, and then the foods that I already can eat. And I did a meal plans for like all the way for like 3 months actually, and just did this kind of planning for, or 2 months, so that just to get an overview of what I'm going to be doing, so I can just get a sense for it. And then there's this really cool website called Sparkpeople, 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 and it helps track nutrition and track exercise. But the nutrition, I like the way that their menus work, because you can put your own food in, and then it has a favorites, and you could just say, okay, I'm eating that, add that. So it's just an easy way to kind of do menu planning, and there's a zillion recipes. And I was pleased to find that some of the recipes that my naturopath had supplied to me that were starch and sugar free were easy to pull up on Sparkpeople and just add to my menus, rather than, and then the other cool thing that I really like is that once you do that, then it gives you a shopping list with everything that's in what you're planning, so you can just print out the shopping list, that you don't have to make your own. So yeah, like almond spice cookies, you know, I just put that in there, and then boom, it came up, and I just compared, because I have a big packet from my naturopath filled with recipes that would work for phase 3. So Sparkpeople, and it's pretty easy to get on there. It's free and everything. So I'm using that for meal planning and to keep track of calories also. Like I'm just going to keep track of calories for the next 3 weeks. I just want to get an idea, again, sort of brush myself up. I put T-bone steak in, which I'm starting tomorrow, and it was like 500 calories for like 6 ounces of it or something. And I was going, oh my God, that's how much I've been eating in one day. And so I was just sort of astonished. So I think it's good for me to keep track of calories. You know, I've been surprised at how low calorie fruit is too. Like the strawberries, which I really like with stevia on them, and the apples and the grapefruit. When I put the stevia on those things, they taste like candy to me. They're just great. And they're like 32 calories for 8 strawberries. I used to not like strawberries because they weren't sweet enough. But now with the stevia, I can eat them and I feel totally happy. And it's only 32 calories. So it's like, you know, things like that. I thought fruit was higher. So anyway, I've just thought different thoughts. And so I just want to, you know, educate myself about that. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be using Sparkpeople pretty, you know, faithfully to do that. Another thing that I've been doing, which is to have these Ziploc bags that I get at Costco, and I measure protein, and people have talked about that, like measuring it, putting in Ziploc bags and freezing it, you know, and that's just been really good for me as far as quantities. Even though I don't like doing it, it's so much easier, because then I go, okay, 3 ounces. I've just kind of gotten a general idea about how much 3 ounces is in with different meat, and it's really valuable. It's been really valuable. So I'm still going to be, I mean, even if it was that I measured 4 ounces or 6 ounces, just to know how many ounces of meat is in that bag and kind of have a visual of it, educates me a bit about the quantity of meat and what the ounces are. And technically today is the day that I could use hair conditioner, and that I could use normal toothpaste, and that I could use shaving cream. And I mean, I have been, you'll see in one of my other videos that I have completely revamped the way I clean my house and my body, based on the no oil rule. And now I probably can do that, but I'm a little concerned about it. Oh, one other thing that was really a unique thing is that my naturopath is going to have me spraying oil on my food. So I'm actually not going to be eating tons of oil, but I'm going to be spraying oil on my meals, little, little sprays to get the gallbladder used to processing oil again. And and I thought that was a pretty great. It's grapeseed oil is what I bought. She said I could use anything, but the grapeseed oil is what she has in all of her stuff. So that was kind of a cool suggestion to just slowly get back into the oils. We'll see how the meat processing goes because I'm gonna have T-bone steak tomorrow. It's huge, lots of fat in T-bone steak, and so I don't know. I am gonna limit the amount I eat though. But yeah, she said just like, let's like put some sprays and then slowly over the week, then you'll get more used to eating, processing the fats. Okay, so what was I? Oh, right. So going back to normal life with normal cleaning and soap, even like I've been using no oil soap. So it's been strange because I haven't been using oil, I kind of like it. Like I definitely like washing dishes better, and I like there's a sense of lightness in my house and in my cleaning activities that I really kind of like. Um, I've been brushing my teeth with baking soda and rinsing with hydrogen peroxide, and I know that that's very effective. It tastes bad and it makes me spit a lot afterwards, but if I brush my teeth before I take a shower, then I can, sort of get rid of the hydrogen peroxide out of my mouth while I'm taking a shower, and it's not gross. And so yeah, now my hair has had its I learned something about my hair though, that I have long hair, long curly hair that frizzes, and I only washed it like every fifth day with Prel, and I would put it up in a braid and just leave it there like it is now. It's just in a braid. This is how I basically went to work with not the best hair care. Like my hair was frizzy and stuff, and so I needed to have something that looked kind of controlled. So I lived like this, and you can sleep when the braid's high on your head. You can lay back. So I did that. I've done that for 2 months now. So I probably will. But what I noticed is that the sort of like the health of my hair seemed to get really good. Like it definitely had oil in it and it didn't frizz. So I'm gonna try to incorporate that, where maybe washing my hair a lot isn't that great. I'm not quite sure what else to do, or maybe washing my hair. I don't know. I have to think about it. But in other words, when I would take my hair down from the braid, I really liked it. I really liked how it looked, because it wasn't frizzy and it seemed to have enough oil, and it just looked almost like it had mousse in it. I mean, maybe it was oily, or maybe that was dirt. I don't know, but it seemed to curl really great. I mean, it looked like I had done a curling iron on it. I mean, it looked really good. So to figure that out. So, I mean, that's pretty much all that's coming to me at this point. So, I hope you find yourself on this diet, and this protocol. It's like I have. It's been just mind-blowing and amazing. And my best to you.